DC Films, creativity at its best.
Your kingdom come, your will be done, and all the nations at your feet. For you alone, our cornerstone, these are deceiving thy love. Your kingdom come, your will be done.
Shalom, 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 wakazak, mashpaka. I pray you all are well. Shabbat shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad. I am back on the show, Script Unveiled, and I remain your humble host, DGN Yasharala, the same man from the mighty tribe of Yehuda who live right here in Lagos, the nation of Nigeria. And today on the show, I will richly, and let me first of all appreciate everyone who actually stood the gap for me in the course of the previous week when Satan tried to get me. But Yahuwah is on the throne, and actually I'm here. I've bounced back to my feet, recovered fully from fever. But like you all know that in the previous class, we talked about the historical secrets about the strangers in Nigeria. And I promised you all that the next episode, we'll be showing you the history of the origin of the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria. And also the major reason why the Yoruba tribe and the Igbo tribe of Nigeria are always having some kind of conflicts among themselves. But before I go into these details, let us go on a commercial break. As I'll be right back. Please don't go nowhere.
Sponsorship, advert placement. Please call or WhatsApp this number +234 811 731 0928.
We resting.
We're chilling on the Sabbath.
That's what we doing. We chilling on the Sabbath.
We're chilling on the Sabbath.
I know y'all go to church on Sunday. They all confused.
We're chilling on the Sabbath.
But we chilling on the Sabbath. The seventh day of the week.
We're chilling.
Welcome back to the show. I still remain your host, DJ Yasharala, and it's still your show, Script Unveiled. Like I said earlier before we went to that commercial break, and I am back again. We are here to make you understand the whole truth about the origin and the history of the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria. Without wasting much time, let us open the floor with the scriptures, then connect it back with history. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. It says, "Your sons and your daughters shall be given unto another people, and your eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in your hand." Now, for those of you actually who might have heard some lies that they might tell you in school, like you know that education actually was created by the enemies to still deceive us. So any history they teach you in school is false. Some will say that the Yoruba tribe were from the descendants of Ududua. Some even say that Ududuwa's friend was Lamurudu, that there were those doing this and that. Now here's the truth. Oduduwa was the son of Lamurudu, who happened to be a slave from the land of Israel. How was he actually a slave? During the trans-Saharan slave trade, when the people of Mecca, that's the Ishmaelites, when they went to the land of Israel and explored some other nations, that was where they took Lamurudu and his household, including his son Oduduwa, as slave to the land of Mecca. And in Mecca, their only rule is that everyone must follow and practice the doctrine that we practice here, which is Islam. Whoever do otherwise of this, the only judgment is death. Meanwhile, Lamrudu, being weak, doesn't want to lose his own life, so he had no option but to follow the religion of his slave masters along the line. Do you believe that Oduduwa, who they claim to be the messenger of God that descended from the sky, who was actually born of man, was also the son of a slave, but he was so rebellious that the spirit of Egypt never left him. So he was practically still worshipping idols, which he sneaked along with him during their slavery. Now, along the line, people of Mecca discovered about his secret practice of worship. And when they discovered that truly Oduduwa was practicing a total different kind of religion that they are practicing, the next option is Sharia law, that's to get Oduduwa and be killed. But he was able to get the news beforehand, and for that singular act, Oduduwa escaped from land of Mecca and ran into the heart of Africa. So here's the question. That's when I said that you will see your children, you will longing to help them, but you have no power in your hand. It's also the will of Lamrudu to save his son from being sent away or by being killed by the Arabs in Mecca, but he has no power in his hand to do such. Verse 41. You shall beget sons and daughters, and you shall not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Lamrudu actually gave birth to his son, but gave birth to his child into captivity. Now Oduduwa actually was a slave, he was never a prince. His father was never a king, because how can they take slaves into another land and make the slave a king above them? Verse 64. And it says, and Yahuwah shall scatter you among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there shall you serve other Elohim, that small letter G, which neither you nor your father have known, even wood and stone. Yes, even before so-called Christianity came up, everything that has to do with black voodoo or magic or their black traditional practice of idolatry, it is always made out of wood. They make different kind of statue out of wood and they worship it. Also as well, talking about religion of Christianity as well, remember that Christianity and that cross symbol has been existing even before the death of Yahusha. They even gave us that religion by war, not by peace. And today people are carrying this wooden cross. They don't even know what it actually symbolizes. I was in place with the Christian cross, talking about the God of stones, talking about the religion of Islam. Why do you think even till this day you can never see any Muslim mosque that will ever build that their logo, the moon and the star, they build it with wood? No, it's always made of stone. Even in the so-called land of Mecca, there's a place there they call Kaaba, where they go to there and they bow down. They keep lying that there's a kind of mystery thing in that particular whatever and blah blah blah. They are still worshiping the God of stone. They are not serving the true Elohim. Verse 65, it says, among all these nations shall you find no ease, neither shall the sole of your foot have rest, but Yahuwah will give you there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. That was why Oduduwa had to flee from the land of Egypt. Even when he got here, he met some people who were actually the Benin tribe. But because they don't welcome his idolatry mindset, he left their land in anger and called them Ile Ibinu. But here's the fact. Those who lie that Oduduwa was the originator of Yoruba, are you trying to tell me now that those people of Benin that had a trace of Yoruba language in their dialect, is by mistake? Was it taught to them by Oduduwa? No. That's to tell you that we have our people living right here in Nigeria. Along the line, Deuteronomy 28 verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil against his brother, and towards the woman of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. That was why Lamorodu never had the chance to protect his son Oduduwa from facing the wrath of the people of Mecca. Not just that alone, that practically, if truly he won't end up finding himself being held. Imagine if Daniel and the three Hebrew brothers were like Oduduwa, who still took a small idol and was worshipping it. Why can't the idol save Oduduwa before he flee into Africa? Why is it that the Elohim that Daniel was serving saved him from the evil they planned against him with the king's approval? Why didn't the three Hebrew brothers as well? It was because they have their faith in Yahuwah. Let me take first book of First King. Pardon me, I got slight cold. 2 Kings chapter 22. I'll take from verse 1 down to verse 37. Let us see where the origin of the beef between the Yorubas and the Igbos come from. Remember, I've exposed it now that the so-called Yorubas actually were already in existence before Oduduwa even appeared into the scene right here in Nigeria. This First Kings 22. I'll take from verse 1 to verse 37. And they continued 3 years without war between Aram and Yasharel. And it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Yehuda, came down to the king of Yasharel. And the king of Yasharel said unto his servants, Know ye that Ramoth Gilead is ours, and we be still, and take it not out of the hands of the king of Aram. Verse 4. And he said unto Jehoshaphat, Will you go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Yasharel, I am as you are, my people as your people, my horses as your horses. Why do you think he could say such a word? Because he had good mind. His mind was pure. But see what happened to the king of Israel. Verse 5. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Yasharel, Inquire, I pray you, at the word of Yahuwah today. Now, can I say that truly the king of Yehuda still feared Yahuwah and asked the king of Israel to still go and get permission from the Yahuwah himself? Verse 9 and verse 6. Then the king of Yasharel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, Shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, and Adonai shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of Yahuwah besides, that we might inquire of him? Verse 8. And the king of Yasharel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Yimla, by whom we will inquire to Yahuwah, but I hate him, for he does not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said unto him, 10 verse 9. Then the king of Yasharel called an officer and said, Hasten hither Micaiah, the son of Yimla. And the king of Yasharel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Yehuda, sat on each on his throne, having put their robes in a void place in the entrance of the gate. Shomeron, and all the prophets prophesied. Zedekiah, the son of Yochanan, made him horns of iron, and said, Thus says Yahuwah, with these shall you push the Aramean until you have consumed them. Can you see this? Verse 13. And the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spoke unto him, saying, Behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let your word, I pray you, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. Now the thing is this: are we, for the sake of mortal emotions, you try to sugarcoat and lie and change the message that you have been sent? To cut a long story short, I would like us to still go into the in-depth of this, but along the line, you know that the king of Israel told them that they should lock up this particular prophet Micaiah, that until he returns from the war, that is when they will release this man. And the young man said, except if Yahuwah never sent me. Look at that kind of confrontation, even at the doorstep of being imprisoned.
For sponsorship, advert placement, please call or WhatsApp this number: +234 811 731 0928.
I had a dream, we were sipping whiskey neat, highest floor of the Bowery, and I was high enough. Somewhere along the lines, we stopped seeing eye to eye. You were staying out all night, and I had
So, despite what he said, Yahuwah actually has made the plan for everything. Remember, this prophet Micaiah told him what actually happened. I saw that Yahuwah wanted the king of Israel to go down to Ramoth Gilead and be killed. And the spirit made sure that he said that there could be a light in the tongue of all his prophets, which Yahuwah actually approved it. But you know that was not the major reason why Yorubas and Igbos are actually into serious language barriers and conflicts today. So it's mainly because the people of Israel back then were thinking that the king of Yehuda planned everything. Otherwise, they would not be having the king have over 400 men, and yet king of Israel of Yehuda was insisting that is this the only prophet, that why can't they get there one more prophet? We just claim that he do say bad thing about the king. I want to ensure that nothing actually comes out but the truth. Now, do you believe that the king of Israel think he was smarter than Yahuwah? Then he tend to tell the king of Yehuda to put on his own royal robe while he was dressed like a common soldier. But for that singular act, Yahuwah turned the table around and make sure that it was that same disguise that was disguised, thinking it was better than Yahuwah, that was still used to kill the same king. Go into the scriptures, get things done, was what's actually going to happen. But do you believe that because of that singular act, that was where the whole beef from Yoruba and Igbo came from? Because now they were thinking that it was the plan work of the king of Yehuda to ask him to bring that particular prophet, and they will make the prophet even prophesy bad against the king of Yasharel, which is actually not all true. Now, till this day, Majority actually still think that they are of this, they are of that. And I'm like, listen, you are not from anywhere. You're actually from the 12 tribes of Israel. But based on some idolatry and some things was what changed you to make you know what you are. What a life. The Igbos and Yorubas still cease to still come together as one. But don't normally, if we have those who are wise, they can live among themselves and not have no issues. But because of this thing that they were taking, the king of Yahuda betrayed their king to be killed at the battlefield. That is where all this old beef came from. I'm sure that majority of you who actually know the land of Imo State will know that yes, in Imo State, there's a particular brick statue that was actually being erected, talking about, how will I put it? I can't remember the English I can put to that. I do understand what I'm trying to say. That is one thing about this whole thing. Now, for this singular act, it has caused a big barrier among our people. And here's the fact. If we are to leave an average wise Yoruba man and an Igbo person to live in the same compound, they will live happily without issues. But because the spirit of greed on our people was why they always tend to think they are smart. Meanwhile, sometimes these Igbo guys are smarter. The king is talking about are these so-called king of Yasharel, we never knew that yes, Yahuwah actually is in charge of everything. He tried to change the time, but Yahuwah made sure that he let you know that yes, I am the superior. May Yahuwah just help us all. And I pray that those of our people who are actually still hating on their own brother, and yet they are smiling with the enemies, that's the Agarins, the so-called Hausas and the Fulanis in Nigeria. I pray Yahweh wake us all up. So this is where I'm going to join the curtain to the end of the show, and I'm sure you know the history of the Yoruba tribe, and now you've known that Yoruba tribe never came from Oduduwa. Yoruba clan actually has been existing even before Oduduwa was born. So that's just it. But I believe that with this class, you will learn to know the difference between who are the true enemies and who are your brothers. So you can know how to live our life together as one nation that we are from. If you have any question, please feel free to text me on my WhatsApp number with this number seen on the screen. Text me and make sure that you introduce yourself when you text me so I can know who actually I'm talking with. So that being said, I pray you all are well. I still remain your host, DJ Nyasharala, and I want you to stay strong, stay safe, and also keep me in prayer, because Yahweh's will, all our previous shows that we've done before that have been pending, will be coming back to teach them on your screen. Talking about programs like Health Matters, programs like Art Store with DJ Nyasharala, programs like Myro and Tor. All this thing, we are bringing them back on WhatsApp, so we can be able to pass out the information that we actually might have, the news, the knowledge that we might have. We need to pass it down to the nations to come. So with this, I say shalom.
For sponsorship, advert placement, please call or WhatsApp this number +234 811 731 0928.